All right, so welcome to Why Rush Racing. I'm Charlie Hawkins, and I have here with me today Noah Clark. Noah, how are you doing today, bud?
Oh, pretty good. How about you?
Oh, I'm trying to get things situated here. A bit of a mild crisis. It seems like every show there's something that's not quite right or something's a little funky. And today I was out of ink on the printer, so had to kind of all of a sudden readjusting. So like people can see down here if you're watching this. I had to move my whole computer, so we'll be using that today as our notepad. So our notes are empty. So
Always something, right?
always something. It's just never easy. Nothing's easy, is it?
Never.
So how the heck are you doing?
Oh, pretty good. Pretty busy.
Pretty busy?
Yeah.
Just a little?
Yeah.
So how many miles have you put on your vehicles this summer so far? Do you know?
Oh gosh. I don't know. My dad he's put a lot more than I have, but just for work, but just races. Man, I don't know. A lot.
A lot. Yeah. Well, and then so we have you here. For people that I don't know how you don't know, but Noah Clark, super fast dude. He is you're all ones across the board when it comes to the state of Missouri and the surrounding. Outside of the Okie Sprint because you're raced a 125 there, and so, but you're ripping fast, right? You're leading the NEPG. Help me here. So AA class,
Okay, yep.
and just super fast. But you're not going to be the fastest guy we talked to today, unfortunately. I mean, well, fortunately for me and you, I think. But
Yeah.
I'm super excited. Here, in about 20 minutes or so, we'll be giving Cody Webb a call.
That'd be super cool.
The Cody Webb. My son was actually really, really excited. He thought Cody Webb was going to be coming here. And he was like, he's 7 and just super excited. I'm like, sorry, bud. He lives in California. He's not going to be here. So, but anyways, so if you got questions for Noah, if you got questions for Cody, for whatever reason you have questions for me, well, let's hear them. I want to hear what you got, and we'll get to them. We'll address them. So I know there was we had a few questions come in from Facebook, and so I'm just looking forward to hearing from everybody, and as well, just go ahead and let me know you're here. And also something that's kind of fun is if you're racing somewhere or you're going somewhere this weekend, go ahead and put that on the message board too and let other people know kind of what's going on. So, no, we kind of alluded to it earlier. NEPG, leading the AA. How's that going? How's the NEPG treating you? And then you guys are on break right now for the summer? Or
There's gonna be one here in a couple weeks in
there is.
Pennsylvania, I believe.
Okay, which was the Dragon's Back or?
No, I think it's the one that took the Dragon's Back place since I guess they canceled that one and this one took the place, I guess.
Okay. And then so you're we mentioned leading the class, not by a whole lot. Your teammate, Nathan Rector is just a short 6 points behind you.
I think so, yeah.
So you guys were tied at the last round. I think you pulled a bit of a gap on him.
Yeah.
How's the AA class? I mean, how are you enjoying it?
Started out a little slow, but I think there's been 3 or 4. Hard to keep track, but as the years went on, just kind of gained a little bit of traction.
You say 3 or 4 what?
Races so far.
Oh, okay.
But I think kind of gained a little bit of traction throughout the year, and Nathan's kind of done the same thing.
Yeah, for sure.
And so we've just kind of been battling the last 2 races. We've been close all day, and it's pretty good knowing somebody, just being right there with them. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, because I guess you're right about that kind of gaining traction. Because I think you went 9, 8, and then 2 in second to Nathan Rector, and then won this last race.
Yeah, so Sumter's always the first one. Sumter, South Carolina is always a hard one to do really good at because everybody shows up there. But other than that, I had a pretty flawless so far. Hopefully stays that way, but so far nothing too major. That's knock on wood, but we're doing all right so far, and we're going to try to keep it going.
So I got a message from Jeff Ott. He said there's no Facebook video link, only Spreaker. Let's see here, people, before we can do something about that. Let me see here. Sorry. People are watching. We're going to get into IT mode here for temporarily.
Technical difficulties.
Yeah. Like I said, nothing's ever easy. Why? Why? You know what we can try to do? I'll try to stop the stream here.
But yeah, for those of you guys that are listening or seeing this on YouTube, Sumter was the first one, and then Florida, that one, never ridden anything like that before. Just with all the palmettos, and then everything was like grown in on the trail, so you couldn't see anything. So you're just guessing where you're going. And then the last round, Louisiana it was. And then which one am I missing? Do you know which one I'm missing? Georgia.
Okay.
Yeah, Georgia is where I got second, I believe, or that's where I won. And so Louisiana, I had some brake issues, and Nathan was riding really good that day. So got second there, and then Georgia had a pretty good day. Rain the fifth test and was super muddy the fifth and sixth test. Just try to put together a solid day and consistent all day. Worked out pretty good.
Yeah. Sorry, this is
No,
the
good.
worst. Ah, man, bad to worse. Okay, so not bad to worse, but just not ideal. Okay, sorry. You know, we're just going to carry on. It's on YouTube, people. Hopefully the chat over on YouTube is working. It was easy. Woody would still be doing seat time. Tell you what, actually, that is, Justin, that is exactly why I started doing this channel is I missed seat time.
Yeah.
Did you ever watch that show?
I watched like one or two. I don't know. That was quite a while ago.
It was. He stopped doing it like 2.5 years ago now.
Yeah.
And so I decided to pick up the slack. But man, see if it's going. Dead space, question marks. All right. Well, I'm gonna have to give up on it because I got to keep moving forward. You guys, of course, if you are on Facebook, you can of course listen to it on Spreaker if you're not already. But definitely head over to YouTube to catch it over there. Sorry for the mishap. Don't know what happened. All right, so Noah, let's get back to you. Let's forget about our technical issues here, like they never happened, and just move on. All right, so, and then this past weekend, you were at High Voltage, the GNCC race, but you raced a little differently there.
Yeah.
You decided to get on the 125?
Yep, decided GNCC's the A Open class. I can't ride that on my 250. And then the A250 class is pretty stacked, and there's always a lot of fast people in there. And then, I mean, not that there's not in the A200 class, but decided it'd be fun to ride the 125, get some good footage of that, and I figured everybody would like that too. So
yeah,
I liked it, had a lot of fun, and ended up fifth.
Okay, you ended up fifth, but so you were on a 125.
Mm-hmm.
Is it? Can somebody race an XC200 in that class?
Yeah, so the 200 A class is just up to a 200. So I lined up next to a KTM 200 and then a lot of KTM 150s. So
150s too.
Yeah.
So how do you? I mean, do you think you were at a disadvantage being on a 125?
Probably not too much. I know a lot of those guys, the 150s and 125s are pretty similar for the most part. I think the 150 may have a little more bottom end, but I think they're pretty similar for the most part.
You think so? Okay, well, that's good. And then likewise, then we kind of, I guess some of your teammates were there as well. I say teammates, Maryville Power Sports.
Yeah.
How did they do, or what was? They both were in the 4-stroke A lights.
Yep, they both. Travis and Nathan, they both ride the 4-stroke A lights, and Travis did pretty good. I think he got fourth.
Okay.
And then he beat me in the overall by a few seconds.
Oh.
And then Nathan, I'm not sure really what happened to him. I know he's battling some heat exhaustion from earlier in the week or something.
Yeah.
and I guess he got tired and had to pull off the last lap, I think.
Okay. How was the weather up there, and what were the conditions for Powerline or high voltage?
So Saturday it was looking really good, a little warm, but then about the time the pro quad started, it started just a downpour really hard for about 30 minutes, and so I thought it was going to be a total mess and mutter, but after the quads got done, it stopped raining, and then the sun came out Sunday morning, and the bike AM race kind of tacked it up for us, and the fields were really good, and then the woods were a little slick in some spots, but pretty good for the most part.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right on. And so, just to readdress again, if you're trying to watch it on Facebook, or if you were, you're on maybe on Spreaker, definitely check out the YouTube if you want to post comments for Noah, and then here shortly for Cody Webb. So I talked about this earlier, but so this year, right? This 2019, not including the winter Hillbilly Series, you have raced more. You have raced which is Midwest off-road racing events. You've raced Missouri Hare Scramble Series or Championship. You've raced Ford Motion Hare Scrambles. You've raced Arkansas Cross Country, and you haven't lost a race. I mean, did you go into the season kind of thinking was that a goal? You think that was like attainable? Or
I honestly didn't know that until you just told me that.
really?
Yeah.
I did happen to leave out the Okie Sprints. You got second there.
Yeah.
But obviously you were racing at 125. You still may not. I think Cole might have won that day.
I'm not sure. That was a little while back.
Yeah, it was ways back. That was overlapped with a Hillbilly, I think, that day. No, you would have been at the Hillbilly.
Yeah, I hit all the hillbillies.
I don't know. Anyways, you raced the 125 there, and you got second. So it's the one exception. But no, I thought that's pretty impressive. So I dubbed you, especially since Logan right now is out with an injury, and he's the only guy you really haven't raced in Missouri. I'm going to dub you as the king of Missouri for now. So you do have a more race this weekend.
Yeah.
So you'll get challenged there as well. I'll be there, so you better watch out. All right, because that's right. I'm coming out of retirement.
Holler at me when you want to pass me.
Oh yeah, I will. I will. All right, we got a question here from from Misty. Randy wants to know how Noah got so darn fast, and if he is racing this weekend.
I'm racing this weekend, and lots of riding, definitely seat time. And then, just riding with faster people helps a lot. Just trying to key off them and just kind of learn from them, and don't take it too serious though.
Yeah. Have fun with it.
Yeah.
Right. And that's one thing is with anything, especially when it comes to a sport.
Yeah.
Is try to keep it fun. And then also had a question here from Richard. He said, what do you figure was the most important thing you've learned while attending national level events that you would have never thought about while racing locally?
That's kind of a hard one. I'd say the intensity at the national events is a lot more, just because if you mess up one little bit, there may be 5 people that pass you versus
so you feel like there's more pressure on you.
Yeah, just more fast people, and in your class there may be 40 people. And then at a local race, there's probably less than 10 in your class. So if you make a little mistake, you just
less than 10, and then of those 10, maybe the top third are really
right. Yeah,
in like competing with you. So yeah,
and that's probably for any class. I mean, if you went and rode a national in the AVET class or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
At a local race, there may be, the 2 people that you battle with the whole race, and then at a national race, there may be 5 people.
Yeah,
so
for sure. And then, so Forward Motion, I guess you had a bit of a challenge there. I read your race report there. Jaden Johnson, I think it is. He gave you a run for your money?
Yeah, yep, he did. He was riding really good. I guess it was his first race back in a while, but I couldn't seem to stay off the ground. But no excuses. He was riding good.
Yeah. Was it slick, or what was kind of keeping you on the ground?
I don't know, honestly. Just
you had 2 left hands that day?
Yeah.
All right. And then So I guess what were coming into the season? Was your goal? Did you have a goal? I mean, do you make goals before the season of kind of what you hope to accomplish, or how does that work?
A little bit. Just not like 100% gonna do this, like committed to it, but there's just because you don't really know what's gonna happen during the season or whatever, but just some little stuff and trying to do little stuff.
So, what do you have a goal that you could share with us, or that you know of off the top of your
Yeah,
head?
right now I'd like to obviously win the National Enduro, the AA points, and then the
But
more points.
Did you have that double A? Was that a goal at the start of the season, or that's kind of developed as the season's continued?
Yeah, that one's kind of developed. The more series has always been one since the start.
Yeah.
But the AA has kind of developed as the seasons went on, and knowing that I can now, I think so.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's looking good for either a Missouri guy or this crazy Arkansas kid named James King. So you guys are 1, 2, and 3.
Yep,
And
I think so.
speaking of James King, looking forward to next week. He's going to be here in your seat.
Oh, nice.
And
nice.
so we're going to talk all about ISDE. Oh, Chris Huddleston. Yeah. So actually, Chris, the elbow, yeah, it's sensitive to the touch.
What happened?
I was riding my bicycle. Since I hurt my back, I've been doing a lot more road biking.
Yeah.
And I took a corner a little too hard. I thought it'd be fun to kind of just carve a corner. Well, I went from this nice concrete into this slick asphalt, and then as soon as I hit that asphalt, front wheel just.
Were you wearing clip-ins?
Oh yeah, I was wearing clip-ins.
Yeah.
It wouldn't have made a difference.
Yeah.
But I was going down. But yeah, I hurt my elbow, hurt my knee, but I hurt my hip was the worst, especially at work. You got to wear pants and it just rubs on them. So as soon as I get home, I'm stripping the pants off, putting on loose shorts. And yeah, it kind of hurt. But I'm hopefully like I've been testing it. Well, the elbow pads, I think they'll sit on there okay this weekend, and we'll be good to go. So no excuses when I get out there. And
couple ibuprofen, you'll be fine.
Couple ibuprofen, yeah. So, but yeah. So I got a question for you though. Is, as you get faster, you always think about the next level and whatnot. How does that work, or do you know about as far as like getting to the point like where Logan Lowry is riding for like enduro engineering or something like that?
Right. Yeah. I'm not 100% sure on all that. I know just ride as fast as I can.
Yeah.
And hopefully something comes my way.
Do you put a resume out to people, or do people kind of get a hold of you? Or
yeah, this past year was kind of the first year I've really like looked into that and really tried to get all my sponsors lined out. So last year I took a lot of time and put together a good resume and stuff, and then hopefully this year I can just kind of update it and then send it to all the people kind of that I'm looking at.
Yeah, because I just your progression and like it's more like seems like to me at least. Hopefully, we're not getting ahead of I'm not getting ahead of yourself, I guess. It seems like it's like a matter of time, just because you are just. I mean, every race you're stepping it up.
Hopefully,
and it's really cool. I mean, to me, to have you here, me talking, I'm kind of geeking out over here because I got Noah Clark here. But it's really cool, and I'm rooting for you. Of course, I'm rooting for all of our local guys.
For sure.
And I think that's pretty awesome. But
thank you.
And then I guess another thing is, so you travel quite a bit now to these national races. We heard about Nathan Rector going to Stuart Baylor's place. Have you been able to kind of bang bars and rub elbows with any of the national level dudes?
Not really. I've never been to Stu's house or any of the big name guys' houses.
Okay.
But at the National Enduros, I've been on a row with some pros and just try to keep up with them a little bit.
Yeah, for sure.
That's cool.
Okay, so because I got a kick out of so I was going to ask you then, have you sunk your bike in like quicksand?
Haven't done that yet. That's Nathan. He'll do that for you.
That's all Nathan. Yeah. Okay. YouTube, that's been doing really well.
Yeah.
Were you expecting that kind of growth? I mean, I was thinking like it's a matter of days now before, of course, we're not by any means, international level or whatnot. We're pretty good little regional people as far as when it comes to YouTube. But I mean, you've had really good growth. Was that something you were kind of expected to happen, or what do you think?
I've been trying to do it, been working hard at it.
Yeah.
Posting a couple of videos a week and stuff. But yeah, hopefully keep growing it and stuff like that.
And if you're watching this, you don't already subscribe to him. It's Noah Clark 32. And if you're watching this, you're on YouTube. So yeah, head on over there after this show and check it out. Quick question from Eric. It says, it's coming to all the 3 Springfield boys. I can tell they are going to make it. Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you.
Ozark. I mean, let's not confuse Springfield and
Pretty
Ozark.
much same thing.
Stratford for Travis and Rogersville. So actually, Springfield's excluded from this list, isn't it?
Yeah, we're kind of in like a little triangle, but we're all, right around Springfield.
Greater Springfield area.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Cool. Hard Enduros. Have you ever done one?
I don't believe so.
No?
No. Something I want to do, but
so you've never ever done the 100 miler?
I've never done the night race.
But
I rode B class was my last time, or A class.
It's like 3 or 4 years ago.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're going to be calling Cody here in just a moment. And but have you ever had a thought about doing any hard enduros?
Yeah. Just schedule really hasn't just worked out, and haven't really put any time to preparing for it or anything. So
yeah,
not too bad right now. But.
The Tough Like Roar was this past weekend. Did you hear any of the results from that, or you guys didn't have any of that rain, did you? It was raining quite a bit.
I wonder if that's the same rain that we got on Saturday, because I know it was in Pennsylvania, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so we were on the Pennsylvania West Virginia line, I think. So
okay, well, yeah, Eric lives 1 mile from the lake, and he's still in the Eldon, so he gets it. Yeah, so yeah, these names matter, Eric. Whether or not where you live, so get it straight. All right, so let's go ahead and give Cody Webb a call and see if he answers.
Let's do it.
And I feel really, really bad. It's his first anniversary today, and so.
Hello?
Is this Cody Webb?
This is Cody.
Cody Webb, this is Charlie Hawkins with Enduro Talk, and I'm here with Noah Clark. How are you today?
Hey.
Doing just good. It's fine. Hanging out, rehabbing, icing my knee, doing everything I can.
I just want to say thank you for accepting our invitation. I found out today through your Instagram that today's your first anniversary. So congratulations.
Yeah, well, it's kind of funny because we actually had two weddings and within 3 days of each other.
Oh, okay. So which one counts?
Today's whichever is most convenient, and today's National Flirt. I mean, it's always 7-Eleven Day, so I guess it's our first one, so we celebrate it today.
There you go.
But we're going out of town this weekend, so I guess we're celebrating the second one.
Okay, yeah.
Or both.
My wife, I tried to say that our first we started dating on Leap Day, and I guess it would have been 2000 and what year would that have been? 2004. And she said no.
Uh-huh.
And she said no. She picked an arbitrary date of March 7th. Like, no, we started dating March 7th.
March 7th.
So, yeah, okay. Well, so for those of you that may not know, who doesn't, Cody Webb, KTM Red Bull, super awesome, super fast dude, hard enduro specialist, EnduroCross specialist. Thank you for joining us. And where are we finding you today? Where's hometown for you?
Hometown is like in the Bay Area in California.
Okay.
So it's, pretty nice weather out still right now, actually. Not too hot. So it's all good.
Yeah, absolutely. And then just a little bit of background for people that may not know. When did you start riding? What type of riding did you do when you did start riding?
I don't know. I kind of grew up as a weird hybrid rider because nowadays there's like those offset electric trials bikes, and I grew up going to trials events with my dad. So obviously the offset didn't exist, and they had like little Yamaha TY80s, but I never had one. So I kind of had like a PW50 and a Honda Z50, but I didn't use it to go ride around a little motocross kids peewee track. I kind of rode trial sections on it because there really wasn't a available trials bike for young kids at the time. So I kind of was a weird hybrid right from the get-go, I guess you can say.
Huh. So did you do much off-road racing, or were you pretty much strictly trials growing up?
Yeah, I was strictly trials, only trials until I was 19. I went and bought a dirt bike, and I wanted to get a motocross bike or, a normal dirt bike growing up, but my mom always said they were dangerous. So I guess I finally had to go buy my own to prove it wrong.
I get it. So it's dangerous, but yet it's perfectly okay to like try to leap up these like 10-foot walls and stuff like that.
The common sense is a fine line there. I think it's because everything was within my own reason. Like I knew what I was capable of, or, in trials you have like a minder or a mechanic to kind of spot you and catch you and things. So you're kind of your own worst enemy. Whereas, in an off-road race or motocross, there's a lot of other riders and a lot more scenarios can happen. So I think in my mom's mind, I think she was more worried about other people than myself causing harm to me.
Fair enough. And then, so with that in mind, then you didn't have a lot of speed training, right? Or like just like go fast. How on earth did you get so fast?
Yeah, definitely not.
How did you get so fast? I mean,
to be honest, right from the get-go, like first time riding enduro bikes, I was actually like really, really fast through the trees. Like anything that was like tight standing up, like I could weave through trees pretty good for someone who never raced before. But as soon as you like have me sit down and corner in a rut, like everything was just completely wrong and off. And obviously, coming from trials and standing up, I knew what my weakness was, and, people told me as well. And I did some, actually the very first time I ever rode enduro bikes was with Scott Summers on the East Coast when I was riding trials bikes with Sherco.
Okay.
They kind of set up a thing for me to ride enduro bikes with Scott Summers when he had that. I think it was a BMW, or I forget what bike he was kind of importing or riding at the time, but I rode with him, and I think he was kind of impressed, but he said the same thing, where I just couldn't corner to save my life if it was a rut. And basically, you'd work on your weaknesses, and I had a little bit of help with Kirk Caselli, basically just on flat ground, just doing circle ruts and figure eights, and he kind of gave me the idea of what I was doing wrong and how to fix it. And when my speed really started picking up was in the summertime. I just started going to the motocross track 2 or 3 days a week. And that's really what kind of upped my aggressive and intensity. But like the first time I ever rode a motocross track, it was literally dangerous. Like the worst arm pump anyone's ever experienced, like over jumping the smallest jumps, under jumping the other jumps, like landing and my hand almost blowing off the bars, missing ruts. I've definitely come a long way, but I think the important thing is people need to kind of realize what their weakness is and focus on that, because it just makes you more well-rounded all the way through all aspects.
Absolutely. Yeah. Because, I mean, so this last year, did you win Donner Pass Hare Scramble?
Yeah.
And so, I mean, and you're racing against, I mean, guys that's their top level off-road, like Hare Scramble racers. They're not hard enduro racers, right? And so, I mean, that
race is kind of tough, so it's kind of in my realm a little bit. But yeah, I mean, I can kind of do it all, but I just stick to the hard enduro stuff. It's what I enjoy the most.
Yeah, absolutely.
So Cody, have you ever raced any other races that aren't like hard races? Have you ever raced like regular go fast races?
Yeah, when I first started with Beta, I think in 2011 maybe, I went to the East Coast, and it was a weekend when they had like a cancellation with GNCC, so they actually had like a double header weekend where Friday and Sunday at Loretta Lynn's they had a GNCC. I think it was 2011.
Okay.
But I hadn't really done too much motocross or anything like that at the time, so I did a GNCC, and I think first lap I came out of the woods. I rode XC1 on a 400.
Yeah.
And I came out of the woods like in 5th place or something, and I didn't really walk any of the motocross. I don't know. I didn't know what I was doing, basically. Right. And I had a pretty good first lap when we came on the motocross track, and I went from like 5th to 10th just in like that little bit. I was like, okay, this is a little different from what I'm used to. And then those guys are so crafty with lines throughout the race. Like they can read the terrain really well. And
yeah, those guys are crazy.
I got worked. My bike wasn't set up good with suspension, and then I tried to get it set up better for 2 days later, but I was still beat up from the first day, and I think I got like 8th an XC1, but like everyone crashed out and I got lucky. So I got worked. I'll admit I got worked.
Huh. I would, yeah, wow. So
I would fare better now. I would fare better now than what I did then, but I'd still get worked by those top guys for sure.
So would you ever plan on doing another one or trying to do one in the future?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, snowshoe seems kind of cool, but a lot of everyone says it's a lot of really fast fire roads, but it's got like slippery rocks and roots and.
Yeah, for sure. That'd probably be more up your area as far as GNCC goes.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just I'm kind of busy with my own thing, and then
right. Yeah.
You know, the team doesn't really want to send me unless they think they don't want me to make a fool of myself. But
yeah,
I'm open to it. It's just I'm kind of on at their terms because they're the one with the bike.
Yeah,
and that kind of relates to one of the questions I had from one of our listeners, Richard, who said his question was, how much different is training for fitness training for hard enduro versus traditional hare scramble racing?
It's quite a bit different. I feel like traditional hare scramble stuff, I usually end up doing like turn tracks or setting up loops through the trees or go down to the riverbed and ride like beat up sand tracks. And I'll basically just do motos and normally like a 20-minute moto or something like that. Ride pretty hard, do a couple of those for like traditional hare scramble races. And obviously there's days where you ride longer, but the pace usually isn't quite up to par. So I try and just in the wintertime mostly just have like fun turn tracks with the trees, weaving all over the place. And then for hard enduro stuff, I kind of just go out and suffer. And I started making some pretty nasty like loops in a couple areas I ride at. So it's kind of good to work with intensity. So a lot of times I go out and do hard enduro stuff, especially if I'm riding with other people. It just kind of turns into a long day of not much like high elevated heart rate. And if you think about when you're in a race, like you're pretty much peaking the whole time. So I found it more beneficial to just basically up my intensity and just do, I just go down and every time I go ride, I add like another finger to a loop and just pound it out and beat myself up till exhaustion.
Yeah.
So when you're doing those, after you like get the track down and know the track, does it just kind of get easy and then you move on to a different loop, or what do you do with that?
I kind of, honestly, I leave the loop the same and just kind of keep adding sections to it,
Okay.
especially because in a lot of these hard enduro races like Erzberg, you ride a lot of the same sections or parts. They just change little things every year. So, you know, the whole race isn't impossible.
Gotcha.
It's good to have breathing room, and it works to like, you know, your heart rate will spike up and then you'll get used to something, you ride it a bunch and it's almost kind of like a recovery thing.
Right.
So I don't know. It's hard to like find the line between like too hard where you're just dying the whole time, and you need to have some space in between where it's kind of like a race or a trail ride.
Yeah, for sure.
Do you do most of your training out there in California, or do you travel around to other areas?
I do most of my stuff here. I have an EnduroCross track at my parents' house, but it's pretty beat up right now because we had a pretty wet winter and everything was just like a mud bog. So I wasn't even really riding EnduroCross during Super Enduro because everything was flooded. And then, so I basically was just going out and riding a bunch of hard enduro stuff or going to ride in the riverbed on sand tracks because that was kind of the only thing that held moisture good.
Mm-hmm.
And then, you know, in spring and stuff leading up to me getting hurt, I was just tucked away in the mountains in private property and just kind of doing hard enduro loops and doing some days and longer stuff with other people. But primarily everything is, you know, done kind of locally to me. And in Temecula in Southern California, it's about 6-7 hours from me, but the KTM headquarters, they have a really nice piece of property they lease that's got 2 supercross tracks and kind of like 2 separate EnduroCross tracks that are together.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of somewhere where I go to do a lot of testing, and I'll just fly down for 2 days and get some good riding in and during the season or leading up to the season because it's kind of a far drive. But the tracks are really good and just beats you up pretty bad.
Yeah. Well, because the reason I was kind of asking is, California, it's dry, has a lot of granite, or decayed or DG decayed granite or whatever, and a lot of traction, right? And so I've interviewed Rich Larson and Quinn Wenzel, both, and like, for example, at the Rev Limiter, it was pretty slick conditions. Remember talking to both of them about it, talking about how slick it is, and they don't train in those conditions at all. And then Quinn again, what was the one in Portugal? XL.
Oh, Lagares.
Lagares.
Nice and slippery.
Yeah, super slippery there too. Do you have? I mean, how do you have an opportunity to train for conditions like that, the slick, and like again at the TKO? I guess those are really slick rocks there too.
Yeah, they're crazy slippery there. I don't have anything as slippery as TKO, but growing up, I rode in the Santa Cruz Mountains at a private property for a motorcycle club, and in the winter it rained, and it was like that nasty clay that was like almost impossible to find traction. Like we had to park at the top of the road, so you couldn't even drive in, so you couldn't get out of there. So I rode mud all the time, and from being from California, everyone doesn't think of us as mud riders. And honestly, I'm the only one that kind of a lot of times hopes for rain during an event, and I think that's just because being in Northern California, we get a little bit more rain in the winter, and there's not as much huge grippy granite rocks like in Southern California. And then obviously in the Sierra Nevada mountains, there's a bunch of big grippy rocks, but I'm kind of in a weird spot that's got redwood trees, forests, and it's foggy a lot in the summer for the first half of the day. So it's kind of almost like a misting rain. So when I go out and ride, a lot of times in the deep forest, like down in some of those canyons, like it's almost like raining in there. So there's all these sticks on the ground, and it's always slippery. So I'm kind of in this weird spot in California that's not like the rest of it. And I think it actually pays off when I go to some of these hard enduro events, because I'm not afraid if it starts raining or if it's slippery. I kind of thrive on it because I know everyone else is mentally weak when it comes to that kind of conditions.
Yeah. All right. So let's go back a little bit to the Erzberg this year. You hurt your knee before the race ever started. What happened there?
Basically I was riding and I was in Southern California. I just picked up my, the new 2020 KTM TPI, cause that's what I was going to be racing at Erzberg, and they had literally just finished it, the week before I left, or the week of I left. I picked it up, and,
so you were
on Monday, tested it, and I was all set to go and ready to fire it up. And I tested the new bike, and I thought it was really good. They made a lot of good improvements from the previous year. And basically I was out in the kind of California high desert and went to drop off this ledge, and it was kind of, I would say kind of windy, but it was super windy. And I was kind of skeptical about it, but I just, I didn't think anything of it. So it wasn't like I was doing a jump. And basically I just wheelied off this ledge, and the crosswind blew me off axis. And my first reaction, stick my leg out to save myself. And I landed to flat, straight-legged, and the whole force of the impact basically just went straight to my knee and hyperextended it, even with braces on. And I knew right away it was really bad. It freaking hurt.
Yeah, absolutely. And so you were still in the United States then when that happened?
Yeah. I was in SoCal, and then my wife actually flew down that night. I went to the hospital. I was with other people, luckily. They took me to the hospital, and I was like, I'm not going to Erzberg. This is stupid. I was just, pissed off because I had put so much effort and energy leading up to the race. And, I had a lot of confidence, and then that happened. And so she flew down and drove me home, and we basically left at 6 a.m. and drove straight to my orthopedic surgeon up here in the Bay Area, and got an MRI that night. Somehow I got really lucky.
Really?
But, he basically did the knee shake test and was like, yeah, your ACL is gone. And I was like, well, can I still ride? And he's like, yeah, but just, you have to tape it up, and it's going to be painful. You have to deal with it. I was like, all right, well, I'll try. So, we already had the flight, and I was committed to go. And, I did what I could, and got some rehab and stuff in Austria. Luckily, I'm a Red Bull rider, so they had a really nice place on the way to Erzberg, and they got a lot of swelling out of my knee, and it was too soon. I couldn't bend my knee far enough to sit on the bike, and somehow I rode the prologue without being able to barely put my foot on the foot peg.
Yeah.
And qualified top 100 out of 1,500 people. So I was like bummed I wasn't on the first row, but at the same time, just to go out there and barely use the rear brake and corners and ride like a squid, I guess I did all right. And I knew I had no chance after riding the prologue. So, I wanted to be part of the race. It's kind of like a free spectator badge. So I started the race and rode around and helped by the top 20 guys through Carl's dinner and headed back.
Yeah. Did you ever find your camera?
No.
Oh.
For sure. For sure someone jacked it, because I know exactly where I put it next to a couple other things. So I had some goo packs and some bars I was going to hand out to people.
Yeah.
And those were still all there, but my camera was gone. So
that's highly disappointing. So people don't know, you posted that thing on Instagram as well. He was helping people out and set his camera down near Carl's diner and got back and not there. So frustrating.
Yeah, it was actually pretty. I think I know exactly when it got taken, because I got pretty sidetracked because Tristan Hart from Canada, he lost his front brake because he got a hole in the hydraulic line somehow. So I was like hobbling, running back and forth, and I actually gave him, I guess I was still a racer, so I took off my whole brake line and gave him my setup.
Wow.
So he was still able to finish the race. So I think in that whole chaos, because a bunch of people were over watching us and watching what we were doing, I'm pretty sure that's when someone jacked it.
All right. We'll have to get on that and get that.
Was there good footage on there?
There was footage of me crashing on the start and a bunch of funny stuff beforehand, and who knows what was going on in the race.
Somebody knows. All right. So also, I don't know if you happen to see it or not, but on my Instagram, I made a trip to Walmart just for you, Cody. So what's the deal with shopping carts? Has this one of your life missions, and just making sure they get back?
Honestly, I kind of started where it's like, I think it was like Chris Kiefer. It was either on Snapchat or Instagram, but he'd always like make fun of people. Like he's in the parking lot videotaping people. He's like, are they going to put their cart back? Are they going to do it? No. Oh, they didn't do it. So I like thought that was hilarious. And I hate it when in the parking lot and I go to pull into the parking spot and there's a shopping cart blocking the way, So I was like, I'm just going to start showing myself putting my shopping cart away and see if people tag along. And next thing you know, I started getting tagged in like 15 things a day. And obviously there were the ones where people were like giving me the middle finger and throwing them into the curb, messing with me. But I don't know. I just get annoyed when people are lazy. It's not that hard. Or the people who spend 15 minutes trying to get a parking spot closest to the front of Home Depot when they could just, park and walk in, and they already would have been in by then.
Yes. Well, okay. Yeah. So a lot of similar.
I don't know what the whole part is. I'm trying to get more activity out of the American people. And
there you go. Well, see,
respect.
My whole point on my video was that we need to not put shopping carts because it's good for the economy. To leave them just out wandering in the parking lots. Helps the auto industry as far as, the service and the auto body repair.
and insurance.
Insurance companies.
But no one likes insurance, so you're helping out the evil side.
And then I was like the medical industry because people are swerving straight wild carts and running into people that are walking, So, I mean, it's really, it's helpful to the economy to not put your shopping carts away.
Yeah, I guess. But then if people and businesses are less efficient.
Yes. Yeah. So
both sides.
But no,
both sides of the equation.
I get a kick out of the people posting that or tagging. Then you tend to share them on your story. So
yeah, I honestly toned it down because a lot of people were like, "I'm going to quit following you if you keep posting shopping carts."
Really?
I'm like, well, a couple times I was like, "You don't have to follow me. Like it's a choice. I'm not going to be offended."
I get a kick out of them. So
yeah.
So EnduroCross, when are you going to be healthy by, or when do you plan on being back on the bike?
My goal is Thanksgiving weekend time.
Okay,
that's my personal goal. They gave me 6 to 9 months, and I figured that's pretty good.
So you're pretty well going to miss.
I got hurt in June. Yeah, everything's pretty much a wash.
You know what's not a wash?
The rest of the year
There's a race in our neck of the woods called the Ozark 100 miler. It's the weekend after Thanksgiving.
Yeah, I know the Ozark 100.
You could do that as your kind of break-in ride.
Comeback ride off the bike for 6 months and then hop on and have bloody hands.
Yeah, exactly.
Is it really 100 miles?
If you you got to qualify for the night race, but yeah, absolutely, it's 100 miles of single track.
Jesus.
Yeah, so
Jesus.
I made it 96 last year. I just couldn't do that last lap.
Oh, that's it. Dang it.
Yeah, it's a good thing too, because when I got home, I found I had no oil left in my motor. I had a small hole. So.
Oh shoot.
Yeah, but no. So okay, so EnduroCross is out for you then. I guess. But a question I have for you is, how do you see the EnduroCross or now the Enduro X sport here in the United States, and along with that, do you think hard enduro is kind of some overlap there as far as riders and competition? Do you think that might be coming up and taking the place of EnduroCross?
I don't know if it's going to take the place of it, but it's definitely coming up. But there's something about like the spectator side of things that's really handy for EnduroCross, but we're just not getting the spectator output that, like, you know, there's so much excitement and craziness in EnduroCross. For some reason, the numbers don't add up. And 2 or 3 years in a row, starting in 2015, 16, like, it was pretty sad. And like, you go to the arena and you're just like, sweet, I guess. Like, there's no excitement from the racer, no excitement from the fans. Like, it made things tough and kind of a drag. And last year, it finally picked up momentum again. I think things were looking like they were going good. You know, we were having more people in the arenas, good, exciting racing, some battles, and it felt like things were back on track, like when EnduroCross was, when it was really kind of on the rise back in like 2007 to 2012, you know?
Yeah.
And it seemed really good. And then there was like this weird deal where some guy bought it and it was still like EnduroCross, but no one really knew what the hell was going on. And they lost sponsors, and I don't know exactly what happened, but it ended up being a wash. And then Eric Pernard and the guy that runs some Arena Cross series bought it, but they couldn't buy the rights to the name. And then it was Enduro X Racing, or I don't know. And they saved it with a 3-round series. But to me, it felt kind of like this year was going to be a wash anyways. And it was more of like, we're building towards something bigger for next year.
Yeah.
And it seems like it keeps kind of gaining momentum now since that first announcement. Because now I think just this week they were able to buy the rights to the name and branding back from Bonnier Corporate. So now it's officially EnduroCross again, same name. They're doing a new format with the racing. So they're just trying to kind of spice things up again and have more of the top guys on the track each night, because that's what people normally want to see. And they set up the amateur races. So I see it in an upward progression now, but I kind of feel like a lot of the riders are still like, well, is this going to last, or is this the real thing? So,
yeah.
And I also kind of think it sucks because just me missing the series, I've won it 3 times, and Colton and I always, you know, we kind of butt heads and have those gnarly battles each season, and kind of is a big talking point. And
oh, for sure. That's you two.
I don't know if it'll kind of have that same uproar with me missing the series. So we'll see.
It would be it's a challenge. That's one of the things that kept me tuning into the Super Enduro season this last year over in Europe was you and Colton and just the battles. And Taddy was in the mix and a couple of other guys. But that was you and Colton though do make, in my opinion, the show. And it's so
I don't know how it always happens, but it's always like a couple points between us, and do or die. It kind of sucks, to be honest.
Yeah,
I'm over it.
You're like, please, somebody else join us. But yeah, okay. And then so hard enduros. I mean, so assuming you would have stayed healthy and whatnot, you would obviously you were going to be at the Erzberg. Would you have been doing like the sticks and stones or the tough like roar, or what would have you?
I would have been. I would have been at Sticks and Stones, Erzberg, obviously. Tough Like Roar. There was another race. Originally it was on the EnduroCross schedule, so I was contracted to be in Orofino, Idaho for like it's called Lagercross.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the same weekend, but I would have been at Bad Medicine in Ohio, Battle of the Goats. Basically, I would have been at every single one of those events that I had an open weekend just to help promote that series. And me being one of the kind of premier guys in hard enduro, I just wanted to be there and see the growth of it. And I kind of see it's one of the only things on the rise right now in terms of off-road racing. Like GNCC is always killing its tons of riders, but in Idaho, they had almost 500 riders for Sticks and Stones. So it's pretty huge deal considering, like, you know, a lot of the other races are struggling to get people to show up in EnduroCross, and even with like TKO, they have to limit how many entries they have just because of the amount of space.
Yeah, absolutely.
They have, like, they cut it off. So it's something on the rise. I mean, I love riding hard enduro way more than I like beating myself up on a super enduro or EnduroCross track, slamming my wrists and ankles at the logs full speed ahead. I don't know. I like the adventure aspect and the challenge and struggle and a little bit slower paces. And I think you got to be a smarter rider when it comes to hard enduro and conserving energy instead of, you know, a all out short sprint.
So
risk it all.
That's interesting. So you see less risk of bodily injury at a hard enduro than you do at a EnduroCross event? Yeah,
I think so.
Okay. And then, so related to that, then it
depends on if you're launching your bike into. I normally feel a little more controlled at hard enduros than super enduros for EnduroCross.
Yes. Okay.
Personally.
Yeah. Fair enough. So the World Enduro Super Series or WES, somebody was asking, like, why don't you race it? And the answer I kind of thought is that there's a lot of other Red Bull KTM racers, for example, Johnny Walker, right? Is there a possibility that you could compete in that series too, or is you going to be over here on the America side mainly?
When they announced EnduroCross was dead this year, in April maybe, when the new guy announced it, I was like, that same day, I was like, hey, sign me up to West, give me a bike. But like you said, there's just too many people on the team, so why send me? It's going to cost a lot more money logistically to send me there, and they already have their guys for each specific event. You know, they have the classic enduro and hard enduro stuff. They already have their guys, so I'm kind of in a sticky situation where I have the ability, but I'm just, there's a lot of guys on the team, and it doesn't work out for me, I guess. It's
one of those. That's the series I really want to follow, but I'm like, I have nobody to root for. There's like no. I mean, there's a few Americans, that'll show up and do one-offs. Like Quinn did the one in Portugal. Of course, there was a handful of guys at Erzberg, but for the most part, I got nobody. I'm like, I root for Graham Jarvis is who I root for. But I was like, I really wish. So the question I had is, okay, so if you can't pick yourself, who would you pick from the U.S. to represent us?
And hard enduro stuff?
Wes. So I guess it has that combination. Yeah.
Not Colton Haker.
No, I'm not going to choose that. I just want someone that's like a good positive vibe for the community of America.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think people don't know who he is, but Keith Curtis, he's not the fastest guy, but he's finished top 10 in Romaniacs last year. He's finished Erzberg, and he won that Sticks and Stones race. And
he's literally just like he's a snowmobiler.
Like, he's a professional snowmobiler, but he can just ride a motorcycle like a boss. He eats like a bear, but the guy can ride a bike.
So pretty
dang good.
I got a kick out of that. Yeah, I'm sorry, tongue tied here. Noah, did you follow the Sticks and Stones hard enduro at all?
Not
as much as I could from the couch on my phone.
Well, no, I was asking Noah because so this guy that is Canadian. Is he Canadian?
Who is this guy?
Is he Canadian or is he American?
He's Montanian.
Okay.
Montanian.
So he's
he's from Montana.
He's like a champion, like snowmobile racer. And so yeah, people are like, wait, is that the snowmobile racer guy?
That's crazy. That's insane.
so yeah, he's a talent, is what he is.
Yeah.
And
and then also Tristan Harder. I mean, he's not American; he's Canadian, but he's also really good.
Yes.
Kind of up and coming kid for hard enduro stuff and EnduroCross type stuff. And he's I feel like he's the next one, kind of try and break that limit up to the next step.
Yeah. Do you know who Josh Staley is?
Yeah, I definitely know his name. I'd probably recognize him if I saw him.
He was at the Erzberg, and I can't remember. I think he might have finished, but yeah, he did surprisingly. I don't think he did, but he did surprisingly well. He made it as far as Ryan Sipes did, actually. So I think he made it to Carlsbad or something like that.
Yeah, somewhere in there.
But no. So okay, so we're gonna start a campaign of let's get Keith Curtis to Europe. So
yeah. Well, maybe next year. I gotta figure out my contract here in a couple weeks. So maybe.
Yes.
Maybe I'll get myself.
Well, we need more than one American. I mean, come on. So, but yeah, so we're rooting for you, obviously, and then it's Keith Curtis as well. All right, cool. So let's see here. I guess what is your favorite event that you've done that in over your career?
Oh man, Erzberg's is one it's like a no-brainer answer for me. Like I just think it's literally like a festival for dirt bikers and rednecks. Basically, it's pretty out of control. So Erzberg, and then I guess I really like TKO. I don't know why, probably because I've won it a bunch of times, but I just like the riding area there. I feel like I'd like Battle of the Goats too, because it's kind of like similar terrain, I think, to TKO, but so it has to do with like the terrain I'm riding too. You know, it's not just the event.
For Erzberg, so say somebody like me that's probably not going to be able to race it. Would you say that'd be a good place to if you're going to want to do an overseas trip and kind of be a motorcycle nut while doing it? Would that be kind of a fun destination place to go just to watch a race?
Yeah, probably to watch a race. It'd be pretty. It's kind of just like a spectacle. Like it's like a big party. It's like Burning Man for motorcycle riders. But the problem is, it's like hard to get in and out. It's like you gotta take a bus. I don't know, for like the layman who goes and doesn't have like the special KTM parking pass. It's kind of a pain. Yeah, to be honest. But it's a crazy race. It's definitely one worth going to. But I think one that'd be easier to travel to and make more sense. You get more out of it. You're not going to see as much of the riding, but I think Romaniacs would be pretty crazy event because you can actually sign up any skill level. They have different classes, and everyone says the riding there is like out of this world. So
okay. So of the big events, have you done Sea to Sky?
No,
haven't done that one. What about Roof? What's the good Roof of Africa, or what's it called? The one down in South America?
Yeah, the Roof of Africa. I haven't done that one, but I heard that one's it's been hit or miss. There's been years where it's like crazy hard, and then there's years where it's crazy fast. So
okay.
I guess it depends on who marks it that year, but I haven't done that one. I've only done, to be honest, Hell's Gate and Erzberg and Lagares.
Oh, you haven't done Romaniacs? Huh, okay.
No, I was supposed to go last year, but I broke my foot, so it didn't help.
No fun. Okay. And then last question then for you. Why on earth did you follow me on Twitter? So
I don't know. I think I saw that you said that somewhere or something. It might have been an accident. I don't know. Okay. Because I was like, maybe I did it by accident. And then I checked and I was like, oh, I am following him.
Yeah. It was like one day it's like, and all I ever did is whenever I share videos on YouTube, I'd be like, yeah, share it on Twitter. And then one day you follow me and I'm like, well, this is really weird. But it's my claim to fame. So every day, every couple of days, I check to see if you've unfollowed me. You haven't yet. Yeah. I'm pretty sure right after this show you'll be like unfollow. But no, but that
I actually, to be fair, I got a lot of people kind of got upset, but like on Instagram last winter and year, I was following a lot of people, but you can't just like delete one person because they're going to be sad. So I just literally spent like half a day because I had nothing going on, and I deleted, like I unfollowed every single person on Instagram.
Huh.
And then now I've slowly been adding people back, but a lot of people were offended when they saw I wasn't following, and I'm like, I unfollowed everyone, so you can't get mad at me. It wasn't just you.
In all fairness, if you unfollow me, I'll be like, I never knew why you were following me in the first place. So no harm, no foul.
All right, well, I'll just leave it.
All right. But anyways, thank you. And thank you for coming on. For people that want to kind of keep up with you, what's the best way? Is Instagram, Twitter, Facebook? What is it?
Yeah, probably Instagram. I just been posting. I haven't been posting much riding stuff lately. I mean, I have because I have some old stuff on my phone, but nothing current, obviously, because I'm riding the couch pretty hard. But I have a lot of PT and therapy and rehab stuff I'm doing right now. So if anyone else is going through an ACL injury, which I found out to be like a ton of people now that I've got hurt, it's like you buy a new car and everyone has that same car as you.
Yes.
So it's been actually really great. I've been able to connect with a lot of people and just kind of talk about the recovery process together with them. So Instagram, Cody Webb 2, Twitter I mess around with here and there. Facebook is not that often. I'll just like kind of take stuff from Instagram, put it on there, share some links. And I've got a bunch of YouTube kind of on board videos, and I'm looking to do more. It's just I'm so a little immobile now. I'm not going to do riding stuff for a bit, but more like maybe like tutorial type stuff or working on things. And so I don't know. I feel like YouTube's a good way to reach people with video, and they can kind of see what I do and who I am as a person. So I don't know, YouTube and Instagram.
Absolutely. All right. Well, thank you. And then before we let you go, do you have any sponsors you'd like to give a shout out to?
Yeah, I mean, well, definitely the FMF KTM Rebel Racing Team. I've been with them quite a few years now, and they're a top-notch program. And I'm bummed I've gotten hurt the last 2 years at Erzberg, and I haven't been able to prove myself. But they're still sticking behind me, and I just want to keep showing everyone that I got something to prove. And obviously my wife, our wedding anniversary, so I got to give her a shout out. My family, my dad for pushing me when I was a little kid to do stuff I didn't want to do. So it's all worked out, and I'm really appreciative of everyone and the teams that have helped me get here where I am today.
Awesome. Well, Cody, thank you for taking the time to talk to us today. Tell Morgan happy anniversary for us, and we will talk to you sometime in the future. All right.
All right. Perfect. Thanks, guys. Have a good one.
Hey, see you,
Thanks, Cody.
Bye. That was awesome.
Yeah.
So no, I was because I don't know. Like I said it many times before, I've only been in this sport for so many years now.
Yeah.
And fully expected Cody to say, yeah, I raced hair scrambles growing up too. And that's how he's so insanely fast on flat ground stuff as well. Because eighth at XC1, right?
Yeah,
for a trials guy
good, yeah.
that didn't start racing off-road until he was 19.
Yeah.
Wow. So that was a bit of a surprise for me. So hopefully you guys learned something. I know I did. And give me something to go and inspire to just keep at it and keep having fun and enjoy the sport. So it sounds like he is, and that's what matters. So, but yeah. So did I get all to the stuff I was wanting to cover with you earlier? Let's see here. Yeah. Oh, YouTube. So one thing, I guess Cody's talking about it. So what are some of the stuff you've been kind of making videos of on YouTube?
Here lately has been a lot of races. I do the GoPro and then put like the commentary over it a little bit.
Yeah.
And then I've kind of tried to been.
So do you do some races with no commentary?
I used to, but I found that most of the people like the commentary.
They do.
So
because every now and then you get this guy that's like, I can't stand the commentary.
Right.
And I'm like, but I like it. It's so tough.
Yeah. I've been kind of trying to balance it a little bit more, kind of keep the people who like it interested, but also.
Because that's one thing about yours. Me, I tend to talk like the whole time.
Right.
I do a lot of talking. And yours is a pretty good balance of we can watch you ride, but you're not necessarily talking the whole time.
Right.
And it's they're good races. You're fast. That's one thing that's really awesome about yours is you're fast. You can watch mine and You can see a guy, I'm not nearly as slow as I used to be, but I'm top 15% instead of top 1%, like you are. But no, that's just really cool watching yours. It's just how fast you're weaving between all these things, right? Like, whoa. And then you're talking. Do people ever think that you're talking while you're racing? Do you ever get those comments?
I think I've got a few, and then I've done a couple videos while I was talking while I'm riding, but
you're not racing while you're riding or talking.
Yeah, no.
Can you do that?
At the off-road cup, I turned on my GoPro.
Okay.
And I started kind of yelling a little bit to it, just so people could kind of hear. And I don't know. I just said "Welcome to the video," whatever kind of thing.
Okay. But you didn't talk throughout the whole video. Okay.
No, that was first lap, and we were going super slow because all the leaves and stuff. So it wasn't really like a real race.
I've tried it and just out trail riding. Never. Well, at the off road cup, I actually did because I knew I wasn't gonna be able to make a video.
Yeah.
And it doesn't work well for me.
It's hard.
I start making mistakes. I crash, and then I'd fall behind because I'm usually with a group and I do trail ride stuff. And so I'll you can actually see if you watch my videos and I'm doing it. If I'm talking, I'm slowly dropping back, right? All right, I got to be quiet now so I can catch back up. And then I stop talking, then I catch back up, and then I can't. You can't. It's hard to ride fast and talk.
Yeah.
So my brain.
Yeah. It is hard.
Doesn't work that way.
Because you're trying to breathe too, and then talking while you breathing heavy's hard. And
so a little about. Did you hear? Well, we're going to skip that altogether. Some of the West stuff. I don't think it's going to be a big deal. FIM. Did you hear about any of that drama going on?
I think I have a little bit.
This past week, there's a little bit of beef between. I don't know if FIM and West or how it's going, but they decided not to cooperate so much, and so. I don't think it's really going to affect the West Series. Things are kind of independently insured themselves, and so, it's kind of like all of the series around here. For the most part, they're not AMA sanctioned,
right?
So I mean, But move on. Tough like Roar. So did I ask you about this? Did you follow any of the results from there?
No, not. I mean, I followed James and those guys on Instagram and stuff, but I haven't really paid attention to how everybody else did. Yeah.
So that's one thing that bums about Cody getting injured is Wade Young is racing here in the United States now. He's going to be competing in the series, and that'd be really neat to see that competition between the two of them.
Yeah, for sure.
But no, and I bet Wade's equally disappointed because I don't know about him, but I know I like competition.
Yeah.
I don't like it's not as much fun if you're just going to go out and just win.
Yeah.
There's having that competition makes the event just all that more exciting to me, right? Other people may just want to win, but no, I think it's kind of cool. Wade Young is representing Sherco here. Mario Roman is kind of covering Wes. So we'll take Wade. So Wade, thank you for coming on board over here in the U.S. Hopefully I can I'm going to try to see if I can somehow figure out how to get him on the show.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
That'd be pretty cool. But I think one thing somebody said they stepped up the course for Roar. James said that, he was there last year and here this year.
And I'm sure the rain didn't help.
The rain probably didn't help. But I see that's kind of with the hard enduro is as it gets more of a name, more people coming out. The Wade Youngs, more of the Nick Farringers, Quinn Wetzel, of course. He got fourth this past weekend at the Roar. Some of these more, trials.
Yeah.
Technical people, they kind of make what we thought was hard look easy, right?
Yeah, and almost all those guys have ridden trials in the past. So
and so I'm just kind of curious how the race organizers are going to respond to that. And with that, I'm like, well, so on a similar note, Thorne Devlin, right? He raced with James King this past week, and they were helping each other, kind of tag team and everything. He posted on Instagram, kind of like this hard enduro stuff. What's any suggestion for my next one? And I messaged him saying the 100-miler.
Yeah.
Even though I have a hard time calling that a true hard enduro anymore.
Right. Yeah.
It says it's the 100-mile part makes it the hard part, not necessarily the terrain. But no, I think that's going to be interesting to see how hard enduro progresses as it gets more of these top level riders, racers,
Yeah.
and just see where it goes. But yeah, as you mentioned, James King, 18th or 19th. I couldn't figure out who was 18th or 19th, but him and Thorne Devlin right there, back to back, helping each other. Couldn't quite. They said there was just a few miles from the finish line, so so close. But I was kind of disappointed. It's on a similar note because in 2018, Ben Kelly won. Josh Toth, of course, he's injured now. He hurt his leg. No, I'm sorry, Toth.
Sure.
Josh Toth.
Yeah.
Grant Baylor was there and Jordan Ashburn, and so those guys were all at Tough Like Roar last year.
Yeah.
And they weren't there because obviously it was on the same weekend as the GNCC. And I was like,
pretty close to it too, I think.
Yeah.
I mean,
and it would have been pretty cool to kind of see some of the more of the pure speed guys tangle with some of the more technical guys. And I'm curious, like, how, I forget how Nick may not have been at Tough Like Roar last year, but could they have kept up with Wade? Or how long could they have kept up with Wade? I don't know, right? Instead of Wade, 30 minutes or whatever his lead was. So, but the XC1, or I'm sorry, the GNCC is where you were, high voltage.
Yep.
So we had Thad Duvall. I think he had his third win of the season.
Yeah, he won by a lot, I think.
He won by a lot. And then it was super tight for second place. There was like 3 or 4 spots within like 20 seconds of each other. So, but Caleb Russell doing what he does. If he can't win, he was going to get second. And then Strang was third. And then Toth, unfortunately he got hurt. So he's kind of dropping down the ladder now because he was right up there in points. And is he a rookie this year?
Yeah, it was his first year in the XC1, I think.
XC1, so he was doing well. Unfortunately got hurt, and he's going to be, hopefully he's back before too long, but not soon enough. XC2, we had Ben Kelly doing what he does, which is what?
Yep.
Just win, right? Yeah. And was he 5th? Did I read that right? 5th overall?
I know he's up there. I know the first lap, like the top 3 in XC2 were the top 3 overall. So
how does that work out?
Just on time adjustment.
Oh, okay. So they weren't in like coming across the line first.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, just the first lap, I think.
Huh. Okay. And then Craig DeLong, his 5th straight second place. He's probably getting pretty frustrated with that. And then Liam Draper coming in 3rd. XC3, we had Jesse Ansley. I've been trying to get him on the show. Yeah. And I'll message him, and then like 2 weeks later, he messages me back, and then like I was over in Denmark, and I couldn't get a hold of, and I didn't get his message, and then I messaged him back. What? No. So Mike Brown had a question here. Are you going to give Jaden another shot at this weekend at Jason's place, or Jason's playground, I think it is? And
no, I'll be at the Moore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Moore's the way to go. No, it's not the way to go. They're all great series. This weekend for me and Noah, it's the way to go because that's where we're going to be. So you'll be there Saturday and Sunday. You can get. So is it a 90-minute race or 70-minute race on Saturday?
I think it's just an hour.
It's an hour. Yeah. Oh, okay. Hour race on Sunday or Saturday.
Like an open practice for like 2 hours before the race. So
they do.
Cool. Yeah.
And then all the kids, all the peewees and all that stuff for more races are on Saturdays. And then on Sundays, it's more traditional distances. Yeah. It's an hour and 40 minutes, I believe, for the C riders and the AM race. And then for the PM race, it'd be a 2-hour race. I believe it's hour and 40. It could be an hour and a half. One of the two. For more races on Sunday for the C racers, BA Pro or AA, 2 hours. So looking forward to that because it's been a while. I'm kind of curious how I'm going to do since I have not been on the bike, in way too long. I don't even know. That's sad. Then XC3, Becca Sheets got the win. Mackenzie Tricker and then Rachel Archer. Did you see Taylor Jones? Do you follow her on Instagram?
Not sure.
If you're queasy, don't check it out. She smashed her hand good. I mean, really good. Recently. And so she has, just her whole hand she did something bad to it.
Yeah, I saw that she wasn't racing at Snowshoe and then didn't see her this past weekend.
So yeah, she's going to be out for a bit, unfortunately, because it's kind of neat. Becca Sheets, Mackenzie Tricker, and Taylor Jones, they're kind of like that's like the Colton Haker, Cody Webb
Yeah.
And then Rachel's there, but just a little bit out of touch with them. But it's kind of unfortunate one of the three are out, but still good racing between Becca and Mackenzie for sure. And of course, as we mentioned, we had you 54th overall, Travis Renaud 49th, and then Nathan, unfortunately, I guess he had some heat issues. He only completed 4 laps. So get what you can take. And but yeah, so mentioned where I'll be. We'll be at it's called Hoot Owl. It's near Hughesville. It's just north of Sedalia, Missouri. Full Gas Sprint Enduro is Fairmont City, Pennsylvania. If you want to be heading out that way. How come I didn't write that? Is Jason's, Mike, if you're still watching, is Jason's Place a reschedule? That's why I don't have it on the calendar, because I haven't been doing a great job on my reschedules. But obviously, there's Forward Motions this weekend. Jason's, I keep calling Jason's Place. It's Jason's Playground, I believe, if you're interested in that. And then also the OMA, I forget which round it is, but they're also in Dayton, Iowa. And did I read that right? Bad Medicine it's a hard enduro is coming up here. So, and I think it's next weekend is when that one is. That's in,
I'm not sure.
That's in Ohio. So I think Vince Tantone, you know who that is? I had him on the show.
Yeah.
I think he said he's going to be going to that. So I'd be curious.
That'd be cool.
I'd like to hear about that. I don't know. I like hearing about hard enduro. I don't know about you guys out there. Tell me what you think. If you guys like hard enduro, either comments or Facebook or whatever. But anyways, Noah, any parting words of wisdom or anything?
Not too much.
Not too much?
No.
No? You're going to go for the W this weekend?
Gonna try.
Do you know who else is going to be there on your level?
I don't.
No?
I know Nathan talked about it. Not sure if Forrester will be there.
Does he race the Moors?
He was at the last one and blew his bike up or something.
Oh, where was that one at?
Oh.
Because I was going to say, Sedalia is quite a ways from where his home.
Yeah.
Relatively.
Man, went blank there. I don't know.
Well, was that Thayer Extreme?
No, it was the gun range place.
Gun range. Is there the gun range there?
Yeah, we went there for the first time last year.
Oh, okay.
So,
yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, so lots of good oh, that's right. So if you are interested in Forward Motion, they do something kind of neat too, which is they kind of open up the track. It's free for all on Saturday. So if you want to go out and just ride, you can pre-ride the trail as much as you want. Wear yourself out silly for the race on Sunday if you want to. But yeah, so it's kind of fun if you want to try to just get some seat time. Go out to a Forward Motion race, ride it around Saturday on the trail, and then go race it Sunday. And they also have a practice lap you can do on Sunday as well. So, but that's it. So, Noah, thank you very much for coming on the show. I do appreciate it. If you guys were listening or watching on YouTube and you wanted to watch it on Facebook, I'm sorry. I have no idea what happened. Jeff Ott, thank you for telling me of my massive screw up or whatever the heck was going on. But
thanks for having me on. Before we leave, I'd like to thank just a couple people.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, Marionville Power Sports, and then Fast Company, Enduro Engineering. Those guys really helped me out, and then Sunstar, Breaking Brakes, and then just everybody else, Fly Racing, Spy Optics. Thank you guys to all them, and thank you guys for watching the videos, and thank you guys for watching my videos, and I'm sure Charlie appreciates you guys watching his.
Absolutely. And I do dig the shirt, Enduro Engineering. I was like, bam, right there.
Yeah, orange.
So I like it. Do you wear that? You can wear that to like out to the races if you're walking the trails during the AM races.
Yeah,
like,
sometimes.
How could you not see me? I have this bright orange shirt on.
Wear it hunting so nobody.
Or hunting.
You know?
There you go. When during deer season, you can wear that while you ride. Anyways, I also want to give you this.
Sweet.
So a little thank you.
Thank you.
And are you trying to get your own stickers together?
Yeah, I'd like to. I'm kind of at the point where I need some like graphic design help, and I'm trying to learn that or find somebody to kind of help me with that.
Yeah. So, like I told you, I went through bike graphics for mine. This is the 9mm. It's about half as thick as the graphics you would buy. Who do you use for your graphics?
I've used Bike Graphics. I've got the Source MX right now.
Source MX. So they probably can do something just for you as well. Mm-hmm. But they do graphic design.
Right,
So
yeah.
reach out to them, ask them.
Yeah.
So that's my suggestion. But anyways, thank you for coming on.
Yep.
And we'll talk to you later. I'll
All
see you
right,
this weekend,
sounds
all right?
good. Yep, we'll see you guys there too.
See ya. Bye.